We brought in Marty and Steve
Hey!
to help us talk about
What's up, guys?
the games of Comic-Con.
The games of Comic-Con.
I know.
Yeah.
Last night was preview night
Yeah.
before the show opens for everybody. They let us in early. We got to play some stuff. What do we like so far? What's exciting?
I'm still looking forward to Wonderful 101.
Yeah?
We played Wonderful 101. We did a thing. I was having a lot of trouble with the controls. A lot of touch and drawing.
Did you play it?
controls.
I did play it, yeah.
Did you have trouble with the
I didn't
controls?
have any, this is
Okay.
like my third time playing it.
Okay.
Okay.
So this was my first,
Okay.
and I played from the very beginning of the game, from the start screen.
Sure.
And they were talking to me while they were explaining the game. So I'm not
Yeah.
holding it against the game, but it was
Yeah.
like, draw a chain, and I kept making a sword. And they're like,
Yeah.
no, now hit this button to get rid of the sword, and then
Sure.
another sword would appear. I'm like, I don't know what you want.
It'd be easier if they just kind of like shut up and let you play.
Exactly.
But, I mean, the game's cool. Its only problem, same thing with Pikmin, is that these two games should be out by now. But they're not. These are
The
games
Wii
that
U launch
window.
it's a glass house. They're calling it a window.
Exactly. Yeah, but I mean, the rest of the line Nintendo has here is super solid.
Yeah.
I mean, they have stuff. I got to play for the first time Super Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze, both of which just thoroughly impressed me.
Right.
And I know a lot of people feel like these are kind of stopgaps on the way to the next real 3D Mario and the next in whatever retro is doing
Sure.
They
next.
want like Mario Galaxy stuff.
Sure, and I have no doubt Nintendo's working on that. But for now, especially this year, like these two games, I had a ton of fun, and I played multiplayer with.
Did you get in the cat
trainers.
suit?
The cat suit.
Cat suit's amazing.
4 of us were playing. As soon as we got the cat suit, it was just a collective awe. It was me, it was a kid, it was a couple, and we just all awed. I mean, it was one of those. It made me realize. I don't know, it made me smile and made me realize why I like doing what I do.
I love the idea of you playing co-op with what may have been an actual family. Like, you're
It
the
could have
creepy
been
uncle, right?
Well,
Yeah, this guy here.
He like graduated college and I was living in the basement. He's like, whatever, man. Oh, you got that Wii U? Let's play
His
some
parents are
Wii U.
using him. They're like, Timmy, stay in school.
Do you think, is Donkey Kong going to be a hard sell? I mean, people want things for their Wii U. They want to play
People
games.
do.
But they were very much like, oh, you're just bringing DS games over.
yeah, well, this isn't a DS game. I mean, this game is like flat out gorgeous. It
Yeah.
takes what Retro did with Donkey Kong Country Returns, and it just extrapolates it onto the Wii U. I mean, it's stunning. It's gorgeous. It's really hardcore platforming.
Yeah.
This is going to be a tough game for novices to get into.
So
but-
somebody who couldn't even draw things in Wonderful
Wonderful.
101.
You probably shouldn't even bother.
But no, I'm excited to go back to Nintendo later and check out things like Mario Kart and
Mario Kart is so. I mean, like everybody knows I'm a huge Mario Kart
Yeah.
sellout fanboy,
Yeah.
and I like that. The new one looks so good.
Yeah,
it looks so good.
But yeah, Nintendo rough start, but they're finally kind of getting their footing now.
Right? When do you think the price drop's coming? Right.
Before Christmas, I mean, it'll be
This
Before
is-
Christmas.
I think it'll have to be alongside the new consoles.
You got to imagine this is a lot like what we saw with the 3DS, right?
Yeah.
Where the 3DS came out and it was like, it's dead, it's got no games, this sucks. And they started showing games, and then there was the price drop, and then
Yeah.
at Christmas it all happened.
I have no doubt this fall will be just fine for the Wii U.
That's a bold prediction.
Zero doubts.
Marty's lock of the week.
That's a fired in 6 months.
Yeah,
That's a lot
so
of
here's
a
some-
year.
yeah.
That's the wonderful one right there.
It's funny, it's cute, it's superhero, it's a great Comic-Con game. It got me excited
Yeah.
to start talking about superheroes. It's wonderful.
Greg, you drew that sword? That's a good-looking sword.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You know, this
I don't
is-
think this is Greg playing right now. I
are
saw
going a
him
bit
play.
too well.
And, yeah, I know. Steve, what have you seen that you like?
Well, what I saw last night that impressed me the most was Watch Dogs. And it's a little weird because it's the same demo we've seen several times already. But the great thing about that game is that it evolves. Like, it's so free-form and dynamic that things change on the fly. And so it's been kind of nice to see the same demo because we got to see it change a little bit each time. And this time, Ubi's showing a little bit more. They showed players actually enter another person's game. Because the big thing before was, hey, somebody's hacking you in this game. It's not another NPC. It's another player out there. They've sort of infiltrated your game, and now they're trying to steal money and data from your phone, which is the whole premise of the game to begin with.
Yeah.
But now it's sort of competitive. Now we saw that flipped around. So somebody did that to us in our game, and we were shown how you go into another player's game now to exact revenge. So you go find this guy in his
That's
game,
awesome.
Yeah.
and you find him in the world, and you try to act like an NPC. So you don't run, you don't do any crazy movements. The same sort of thing we do in the Assassin's Creed
Sure,
multiplayer
sure.
games. You
Yeah.
try to blend in,
Yeah.
look like a computer player. But you find the guy and start hacking, and then he gets a signal, somebody's downloading data from your phone, and then you've got to hide. And in the sequence we saw, the player that we were controlling hid in a car, and then once the guy found where we were, we went off on this high-speed chase. It was very, very
That sounds cool.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Did it impress you? It sounds really cool to us. Did it impress you?
Yeah, it did. I mean, the idea that you can now have sort of a grudge against another player and go and grief them a little bit, and that it's all content that seems fair, is very impressive to me. I think it's really cool game design.
People keep pointing out to me on Twitter that when we start talking about Game of the Year, we start talking about Last of Us, then Goldfarb doesn't shut up about Bioshock, and then people talk about GTA, but no one mentions Watch Dog. And we all are excited for Watch Dog. We talk about it. I feel it's just one of those things we've known about Watch Dog for so long that it's hard to have those moments of like, oh, this game looks great.
Yeah.
Do you think it's in the running from what you've seen?
I think so. I mean, I'm going to reserve judgment.
Oh no,
but
totally. I'm not asking you to vote right now.
You know, I feel like it does suffer from a little bit of overexposure.
Yeah.
Right? And some games have that happen. Peter Molyneux is famous for making games, and they don't come out
I was
for
so
a while.
sick and cute by the time I got it. It's just like, I get it.
But you get them, and maybe some of the shine is worn off. Maybe some of the enthusiasm is worn off. And you think if we had had a shorter window in which to anticipate this game, maybe we would be more excited to finally get it.
Yeah.
So I think it will work against them. But from what I've seen of the game, it looks phenomenal. The gameplay is fantastic.
The other thing is, you were telling me when you got here, breaking news
Whoa.
from the show floor about the one and only Batman Arkham Origins. Tell me all about it.
Yeah, so I mean, you go to these panels and you're like, okay, we're going to hear them sort of recycle the
You
same
just sit
talking
back and go,
points.
boring!
Exactly.
Get off the stage, Troy Baker.
But yeah, it was Troy Baker and Roger Craig Smith who are now doing the two leads of Joker and the Batman in this game.
They'll be on this show very soon.
Whoa.
It's funny because Troy Baker's he's going to be in a couple of Game of the Year contenders this year. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's a
Right.
good year for his career. But Jeff Johns was there from DC, and the folks who were in development of the games, both Blackgate, the handheld version, and the actual console version of Arkham Origins. They revealed a couple of things. First off, Copperhead is in the game now. I don't know if you guys remember Copperhead in the new 52. I guess is sort of like a more snake-like character. But this is a lady who's an acrobat, a contortionist, somebody who can go toe-to-toe with Batman in the hand-to-hand fighting department.
He's one of the or she is one of the 8 assassins.
Yeah, so we saw a trailer. It's actually going up on IGN right now where...
Keep watching this! I'll tell you when it's up. Don't leave here.
Is this the trailer?
No, this is the debut trailer where the guy gets a flashlight in the face.
So she escapes interrogation in the opening of the trailer and then sort of crawls through like some pipes and stuff. And they said that they used 3 separate actresses to do the motion capture. They got an acrobat from Cirque du Soleil, they got a martial artist, and they got another person who can do some of the more contortion-y type stuff. And it just looks phenomenal. And it's a fan favorite character. And Jeff Johns said he liked their treatment of that character so much, he wants to bring her back into the comics.
Nice.
That's right. I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
The other thing is, somebody asked, is there going to be Robin in the game? And they said, no, absolutely not. I mean, this is a year 2 experience. Robin doesn't exist in the continuity at this point.
Yeah.
But then when somebody said, what about Batgirl? We got a great big wait and see.
That's awesome.
Sometimes the no comment really is not newsworthy. But I think in this case, the fact that they were willing to go on record and say absolutely no Robin, but they weren't willing to confirm that for Batgirl suggests that she is probably in the game.
It's fascinating. You figure, Oracle obviously in the other Batman games. We know Oracle's, story pretty well shot there.
Yeah.
A coffee cup. I hope he was here.
Yeah, I hope so too. So we're still waiting to hear a few more things. We didn't find out who's playing Alfred, which I think is.
I
they're going to wait and reveal that. And there was some speculation about Batman Beyond there, and the crowd just went crazy when the topic came up. So I think that sends a strong message to the developers and publishers that this may be something that they should look at next.
See, it's super fascinating because you figure right now we had an article up this week on IGN that the Batman Beyond script for a movie still very much on the table. They're looking into that, and we don't know, but we think that Rocksteady's definitely working on a Batman game, right? Kevin Conroy not in this Batman game, but said he has been working for 9 months on this Batman game. That can be an awesome way to jump ahead, right? Now we're going backwards and forwards and leaving what we had with Arkham City just where it is.
We're all over the place.
Yeah, but Terry McGinnis, he needs a game bad.
Is this Comic-Con the first time the public has a chance to go hands-on with PlayStation 4 and Xbox One?
It is.
It is.
Very
Yeah,
much so,
absolutely.
And that's why PlayStation brought all the big guns like Drive Club and Knack.
Don't forget Octodad.
I mean, Microsoft only brought 2 Xbox One games. They have
only Rise and I'm sorry.
Rise
and Killer
Killer
Instinct.
Instinct are the only ones on the show floor. And then over the Sony booth, it's PlayStation 4 presence is Knack, Octodad, and the one I mentioned,
Drive Club.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird though, right? Where's Killzone?
Sure.
Where's Kids
But
Play?
it was-
Where's Infamous? Infamous looks so good, Marty.
It was
Why is he
honestly
asking
really.
us?
I don't know. I work for Sony. It was really cool to see kids get their hands on this controller for the first time, and no matter what they were playing, they were stoked. And that was another thing. I see this, I'm like, okay, this is awesome. Like whenever we're jaded, it's like, nope, just look at these kids. They're happy.
They're so excited to touch that touchpad.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what to do with it yet, but
Nope.
Don't worry. You got a light bar.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned Rise, and we went to play Rise, and I was not as impressed with it as I was hoping I would be.
Yeah.
Because we saw the demo at E3, and it looked like it was full of quick-time events
Yes.
and things like that, sort of passive.
So was it?
It felt like that to me. It wasn't like the sort of open-ended combat experience like you got in the Batman games, where it's sort of a little more fluid. This felt a little more canned and restricted. And maybe that's just a demo. I don't want to be
You'd
unfair
hope
to a
so,
game that's
right.
not done yet,
Yeah.
but it left me feeling kind of disappointed.
Yeah, seems like a cool idea at least. Yeah. But we said what I find interesting is the Xbox booth. We mentioned 2 games, and that's pretty much their entire presence on the show floor. Sony 3 PlayStation 4 games, but then a billion PS3 games and all this stuff. Not much Vita stuff, some independent stuff there. Interesting. The big one. This was my first time playing Beyond Two Souls. I know you guys have played it before.
Yep.
I know Colin and Andrew played it, and it seems like everybody's been kind of, these controls don't work really well. I played it. I was expecting to be more like turned around. When Goldfarb talks about it, he acts like he couldn't wrap his head around it. Other than dodging, I was okay with it. But I was just more like, this game doesn't look that good. Like graphically, it doesn't look that good for a game coming out in October. And then it didn't really seem. At least I've only played Somalia. It didn't seem very super engaging, right?
No.
Like Heavy Rain was, I'm going to walk around and choose what I interact with. And this was, I'm next to a wall. Do I want to press against the wall? Yeah, I'll press against the wall.
Yeah, right.
All right, now I'm done pressing. It's like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And
I
then
mean,
you were,
but
it
to be
was
fair,
all
though-
combat, right?
Yeah, it was all
Yeah.
combat and
To
sneaky.
be fair, you take something like Heavy Rain and you pull out
Sure.
10 or 15 minutes of that
Sure.
game and you're like, what's going on with these goggles? This game doesn't make any sense. Right? But when
Virtual tanks?
Yeah, but when it's all put together, I think it makes more sense. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt
Sure,
based on
totally.
their past track record. But yeah, I had the same response. It's
It's-
like, what is this game even about?
When we put up our video today, running through our impressions of gameplay, one of the people in the comments was like, "This is a game that's about story to me." You know what I mean? Like we all make fun of putting down plates in Heavy Rain, where it was like, like don't put the plates down so hard. Like I'm trying not to, man. It's tough. Like it was, that game succeeded in, despite its flaws, despite control wonkiness. So yeah, when we get down and we get to see the story that they, David Cage knows how to make a great story. Ellen Page knows how to act, and we get to see that journey. Hopefully, yeah, it does all turn
You
around.
just gave me a great idea with that plates. DLC for Heavy Rain, you get to play as Octodad.
Yes.
That's exactly what they're looking for. But speaking of Octodad,
That comes up later on the show?
yeah, we have we have a whole giant stage demo here for Octodad. But you played Octodad.
I did.
What'd you think?
I thought it was great. So, I mean, if you guys don't know, quick refresher, it's a PC game that is now coming to PS4, and you play as an octopus who's a father of a family, and it's his wedding day, but no one really knows he's an octopus.
Yeah, he's trying to like
He's
blend
the
in.
father of a human family.
Of a human
Yeah,
family, and he's just trying to blend in. And during this demo, you are trying to get ready for your own wedding. So you have to open a drawer and get a key and put on in the ring and walk down the aisle. But the way it controls is a lot like Surgeon Simulator,
Yeah.
which
Right.
we've covered heavily, where every button kind of acts as a different limb. And so the most simple act of walking down a hallway becomes a laborious task.
Yeah.
And
Which sounds like a great time.
no, but honestly, it not only is it fun to play, but it's fun to watch. And,
Yeah.
and I said last night, it really feels like this embodiment of slapstick comedy, which gaming rarely does. Like, you get comedy through writing a lot.
Yeah.
Double Fine games do that, but this is really like comedy through just the act of playing, which I think is great. And I mean, I think most stuff. I think Octodad is it epitomizes Sony's push towards giving a voice to these indie developers.
Right.
It's also nice because it's sort of a commentary on the way all games sort of deal with interfaces, right? Like you play a game like this and you're like, well, you know what? Like all games have some element of Octodad in them.
For example.
Octodad's got a tentacle and everything.
Just the arbitrariness of it all, right?
Okay,
You don't
yes,
think so?
yes, but
Right.
this one embraces
Yeah.
the fact that, okay, I got you.
And
there,
makes
yeah.
that the point. Like, look how fun this can
Yeah.
be.
What I like about that is that the developers aren't working on that game full time. They have like other jobs.
jobs. Yeah.
And it's a PlayStation 4 game. So
Yeah.
like a game is coming to PlayStation 4 that the developers made in like their spare time.
It's not only is it coming to PlayStation 4, it is one of their showcases
Yeah.
of the PlayStation
Yeah,
4.
they had those the team on stage at E3 alongside like Transistor and Outlast and Secret Ponchos.
And that's what's, we talk about, when we talk about the PS4, that's what's so fascinating about them right now is that PlayStation's totally like, you know what, we missed the boat making our PlayStation 3 hard to develop for. PS4 is the exact opposite, and here's all this crazy stuff for it.
Yeah.
Like now the Vita with Hotline Miami
Sure,
and all
sure.
these different things.
Yeah, the fact that they're juggling these games with stuff like Killzone and Infamous to me is a really good sign.
Let's not forget Ibn Ob, huh?
Ah!
Yeah, best Ibn Ob players in the world right here, decided at GDC. Bring it.
What do you
GameSpot
get
out.
for that?
What do you mean? We get the personal satisfaction of being the #1 Ibn Ob duo on the internet.
Yep.
You're going to coast on that for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'll be coming for a raise soon.
Is there game stuff that's here that we haven't seen yet? Still to come? This is only day one.
There's some more Microsoft stuff. There's a couple panels. There's a Capcom panel later that they're promising a big reveal. So
Yeah, Capcom likes to they announced Street Fighter Cross Tekken at a Comic-Con panel.
Yeah, so that would I'm hoping it's something huge. I went to a Halo panel earlier and they said that there was going to be a big reveal, but it just turned out that it was the Spartan Assault is out now.
Gotcha.
The tablet game.
The annual Marvel video game panel is happening again. Historically, they always announce something there. I'd expect a game there.
Yeah.
We're also going to head off after this and check out some of the indie games that Microsoft has for Xbox Live Arcade.
Sure. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're
Yeah,
excited.
from here on out, though, it's really just panels. We've seen this show floor, and that's all stuff we have already known about. But tonight I'm hosting the South Park Stick of Truth panel with
cool.
the Matt and Trey.
Yeah.
We'll see, hopefully get something out of that. Maybe a solid release date. And then later in the week, I'm hosting the Walking Dead panel with Kirkman. Hopefully we see some stuff about Season 2. That'd be awesome.
That'd be
Know a little
huge.
bit about that.
Yeah.
Marty and Steve, thank you for joining us to talk about games for a few minutes.
Pleasure.
Thank you, guys.
I know you guys got to get back out there. Report back to us with what you hear.
Absolutely.
Explain to him how good we already have been up.
I will.
All right.